Another thing that people, many people ask me to ask you about, I have to ask about it, is Made, because people bring this up so much, and for some reason I've seen it before, but I can't find it online anywhere. How did that happen, and how do you feel about it now?
So that's a good question, and I get asked that a lot too. So the story goes like this. I mean, obviously, growing up in the early 2000s, MTV Made was the best show. Like,
I
everyone
loved
loved
it.
that show. I was hooked on it, and I watched all the episodes. So what happened is I went to a high school in a suburb of Atlanta called Mill Creek High School, and Made came to my school and did open auditions. So I didn't even have to go anywhere or send a video in. I just had to step up from the lunch table and walk to a room and audition. So I'm at the lunch table with all my friends. I'm like 14, 15 at the time. And I'm just like, hey, do you guys dare me to go audition and be on Made? And we kind of just all chatted about it at the lunch table. And I'm like, well, I'm just a big hairy metal dude. Like, they're not gonna pick me if I say that I want to be in a famous metal band, because I'm already like in a band. I have to pick something that's polar opposite of what I am. So I was like, I'm gonna pick that I want to be a male model. And I bet
Right.
I can get them to pick me. And I felt it. Like, I knew I could get them to pick me. And I started like thinking about ideas in my head during my interview that'll make them pick me. So I step off from the lunch table, walk into this interview room, and the camera starts rolling, and they're like, all right, tell us what you want to be made into. Tell us about yourself. And I was just like, I'm Chris Franzak, and I want to be made into a male model. And then I did a model walk and tripped over a chair and fell. And I just heard like silence, like the silence of like, this is the one.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and then I just knew at that moment they were gonna pick me. And so I ended up having to do like a second audition. And they sent someone to me to like follow me, I guess, for a day or two. And then ultimately they ended up picking me, but it was like a year or so process of getting everything in order. It's crazy, by the way. When you're on reality TV, they have to send you to a psychiatrist and get this intense evaluation to make sure you're not going to
Oh.
kill yourself,
Oh wow.
because they know that they're going to mentally like torture me. So
Right.
they're
And
just
make you
like,
look like an asshole on TV.
yeah, they're like, okay, we're going to send you to the psychiatrist, like, because we're going to really fuck with your head, and we
Right.
need to make sure you're not going to suicide or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I went through the whole process, finally got approved, and then started filming when I was 16. And that was that. I'll never forget when the episode aired, me and all my friends and all my family just all huddled up on the couch, like watching. And the other interesting thing that I tell people is that was in the MySpace days when MySpace was getting really popular and cool. So the first thing I did is after the episode aired, and I think this was like 2006, I ran to my computer, dial up, boop, 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 logged into MySpace, and I just saw my followers like thousands per second. Like, and it blew my mind. I was like, this is so cool.
And for some reason, I can't find it anywhere. There's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, Franz doesn't want it out there. He took all the videos down." Is that
No,
true?
no, I hope. So here's something I've been thinking about. We have Catfish and all these other shows available on streaming. So why isn't Made on streaming?
I
You
think
know?
there's something about like the contract they had with the production company or something, because none of the Viacom stuff from like 2004 to 2008 is on any stream. Like none of those shows.
Yeah,
Like
and that's what's weird to me.
Cribs, Next,
Pimp My Ride.
yeah, none of that stuff is on streaming. It's only the later seasons from like 2012 that nobody cares about. So I think it's
Yeah,
some kind of legal thing.
it's got to be something, because I myself would love if they put my episode on streaming, because it would blow up. It'd be
I
huge.
would
It
pay
was
$1,000 to be able to watch all those shows from like that era, because that was the best fucking era of TV. I love all that shit.
hands down, hands down. But the only way to watch it is if you know me or my parents, because my parents have a DVD in their house of the episode, and that's it.
Okay, so go over to your parents' house and they'll show it to you.
Knock on the door, say, "Hey, Mr. Franzak, I'm here to watch MTV Made."